some kind of compromise internally for the respiratory system. It's really hard to see it, and that's a difficult one to see. But I have one. I'll show you here. I got a couple of them to show you. Just to kind of get us in the frame of mind of respiratory problem. But it's very interesting.
Borrowing your book.
Okay. This is a flail segment on the left side. If you look, you can see the paradoxical motion. See it? It's very subtle on this one. Not a lot of bruising. It's not real obvious, but there is a more than one, 2 or more bones broken in 2 or more places. So this gives you this paradoxical motion.
Can you play that again?
Yeah.
Did you cut your hair? Let's see. Oh, baby.
Right over here over the, there you go, it's right there. When this
Yeah.
comes up, that goes in. You see that? That's the paradoxical motion. The next one I have is actually a flail segment of the sternum, which is a little bit different. So you can break that sternum, which will also create a kind of a flailing segment as well.